Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Yesterday, I did one editorial regarding the manifesto of the BJP party. Looks like the continuation of that. Today's editorial is all about a pre-poll survey regarding the upcoming elections conducted by CSDS Lokniti pre-poll survey. Any survey that deals with any survey related to the results before elections deals with what exactly the voters, prospective voters, are thinking, what is the stand they have taken, and what are the issues they try to focus on, what are the parties in the fray, that means contesting, and what is the message for the political parties. This should be the broad framework. Let us start the session with the question: what is this editorial about? This editorial is about the findings of the CSDS Lokniti pre-poll survey for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Is it on? Please respond. And analyzes the implications for various political parties and alliances. In a nutshell, it is about the pre-poll survey regarding the 2024 elections. That is one thing. And the other dimension, it analyzes the implications. That means, what is the message to the parties that are contesting? Now, thanks for responding. Now I know it is on. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is analytical and somewhat critical. Analyzes, you can understand based on that the implications for various political parties and alliances. But why is it critical? It is critical about the BJP party's rule, the incumbent government's rule. It touches the economic dimension and it feels on the economic front, when it comes to the economic front, the current government has failed. Based on that, the performance has been mediocre. One important word has been used, mediocre. Based on that, critical, somewhat critical. How does it start? In the fray. In the fray, I used yesterday also. I don't know how many of you remember. In the fray, when it comes to elections, when it comes to competition, we say who is in the fray or in the tournament. Uh, in the who is in the fray means who is contesting. But in actual meaning of the word fray, a usually disorderly or protracted fight, struggle, or dispute. Fray means disorderly or protracted fight, struggle, or dispute. But in this context, you should not take the individual word. You have to take in the fray. It means in the competition. Exactly. Naidu Paidi. On the CSDS Lokniti pre-poll survey 2024 findings. Easy to make out. I feel something is burning. Give me a second. What is the main idea of this editorial? Lokniti survey suggests that the Lok Sabha contest is not done and dusted. This is also an idiomatic expression. Not done and dusted means not completely finished. Not done and dusted means something that is not completely finished or not something not completely over. Lokniti survey suggests that here the sentence is in excuse me. Here the sentence is in present affirmative form and survey third person singular it. Based on that, added the letter, we should add the letter S or ES or letters ES to the verb. Lokniti survey suggests something. What does it suggest? That the Lok Sabha contest is not done and dusted. Means it's not over. It is not completely finished. That means fair competition is going to be there. It is not going to be one-sided. How does it start? What are the words here in the fray, in the competition? In a country, the size and diversity of in a country, the size and diversity of India, voter choices can be a bundle of contradictions, an important expression, a bundle of contradictions that require careful parsing to unpack and understand. Bundle, you have to unpack. While unpacking, you got to be careful and you have to uh, be cautious rather. First, I'll tell the meanings of the two words here. One is diversity. I'm sure you all know. Part of speech noun, the condition of having or being composed of differing elements. Different elements at one place, we say diversity. Generally, we describe India. India is a country of unity in diversity or diversity in unity. We have unity at the same time, we have diversity. And what is the second word here? Parsing. It is a verb. Parse is a verb. To examine or think about something carefully in order to understand it. You can make out from the context. In a country the size and diversity of India, voter choices can be a bundle of contradictions. Bundle of contradictions based on that require careful thinking. Parsing means careful thinking, careful examination to unpack and understand. To understand, you got to be careful. On the one hand, a standard phrase we have got many a time, I use regularly. On the one hand, the CSDS Lokniti pre-poll survey 2024 findings that unemployment and price rise are the issues of most concern to prospective voters. Comes as no surprise. This is the actual thing you have to focus on. Any pre-poll survey tries to find out the pulse of the prospective voters. What exactly they're trying to focus on, what issues are given utmost importance. Based on this survey findings, two things stand out in the mind of a prospective voter. One is uh, unemployment issue. The other one, price rise. Have a look at the comment box. Words are being added. Unemployment, one issue. Price rise, another issue. Are the issues of most concern to prospective voters. Comes as no surprise. And these two come as no surprise. That means quite obvious. In a country with a large youth population and a relatively low per capita income, the lack of sufficient jobs and the persistence of high inflation should be major issues of concern. A prospective voter wants to focus on unemployment or focuses on unemployment and price rise. Based on that, the findings, it is quite obvious that the elections or the parties in the fray should focus on these two issues and they should be the major issues of concern. What is the reason? Today we talk about demographic dividend. Means what? India has a lot of youngsters. When we have a lot of youngsters, then we don't provide the employment to those youngsters. There is unemployment problem. That is a major issue. Second thing, high inflation all the time. That is also cannot be afforded, not affordable. That also becomes a major issue. Same idea is being reiterated, but what is the reason? Why are these important issues to be considered? Because of youth population, one thing, and because of relatively low per capita income and a high inflation rate. The survey also reveals, we have got so many times, reveal means what? Reveal means lack of disclose, make public, or divulge, all these words. The survey also reveals that more than half the respondents felt that corruption had increased in the last 5 years. I don't know why the writer has used past perfect. In my opinion, it should be has increased because it talks about last 5 years, means from the past to the present. We also use a standard phrase over the 5 years, for the last 5 years, for the past 5 years. But a bit surprising to know that the writer has used a past perfect. The survey also reveals that more than half the respondents felt that corruption has increased in the last 5 years. That is a bit surprising. In its 10-year term, the performance of the Narendra Modi Bharatiya Janata Party BJP government on the economic front has been rather mediocre. Rather means a little moderate. It goes with a negative context. Mediocre, a negative word, and has been present perfect active voice. The sentence says this is what critical, editorial, tone, analytical, and critical. This talks about that particular dimension. The BJP party, or in its 10-year term, the performance of the Narendra Modi Bharatiya Janata Party government on the economic front, an important expression you have to remember, has been rather mediocre. Mediocre means moderate or low quality, value, ability, or performance, not up to the mark. With little being done to lower unemployment, even as it has pursued policies that have significantly benefited the elite over the masses. There are two dimensions over here. Why is it mediocre? The writer wants to justify. The term mediocre is derogatory, in a way, a negative word, for two reasons. One reason, little being done, nothing being done to lower unemployment. You have to recollect little, a little, the little. Little means hardly anything, almost nothing. It has a negative connotation. Little being done to lower unemployment means nothing done to lower unemployment. Even as it has pursued policies, it has pursued present perfect active voice that have significantly benefited, that have significantly benefited. Again, present perfect, the elite over the masses. Certain policies they came up with, but these policies helped the top class, not the lower class or middle class. Elite over the masses. Masses here means the downtrodden people. You all know the word pursue, to find or employ measures to obtain or accomplish. Pursue higher studies means continue with the same effort to achieve the goal. Accomplish means achieve. Even as the BJP seeks to emphasize issues such as the inauguration of the Ram temple and Hindutva at high decibel level, decibel goes with sound. High decibel level means high pitch. In its campaigning, the survey reveals that these two issues, what are the two issues BJP is banking on? One is inauguration of the Ram temple, the other one, the ideology of Hindutva. Based on the survey, and they're doing it at high decibel level, high pitch, that means deliberately, intentionally. The survey reveals that these two issues do not have a high resonance in comparison to livelihood concerns. Though they talk a lot about Hindutva and inauguration of Ram temple, these two issues do not have a high resonance, means they don't go with the prospective voters and in comparison to livelihood concerns. For a prospective voter, the most important thing is livelihood. Livelihood means what? Means of meeting the basic necessities or source of income. Livelihood is the most important thing. And based on that, these two things, one is inauguration of Ram temple, the other one, the ideology of Hindutva, do not have a high resonance in comparison to livelihood concerns. What has high resonance? What appeals to them? Livelihood concerns, they are bothered with livelihood concerns. Any message related to livelihood, they will definitely, it will strike a chord. Means high resonance, high impact you can see. But the survey also shows that, in spite of that, the survey also shows that all present tense, because reveals, shows, the reason being it's a survey. In the survey, you come across the facts and figures. We have to use present tense. But the survey also shows that the BJP and its allies have a comfortable 12 percentage point lead over the India bloc. In spite of these, the facts just mentioned, the BJP has the advantage to what, to the tune of 12%, 12% point lead over the India bloc, with leadership and socio-cultural issues determining higher preference for the ruling party. When it comes to the India bloc and the BJP has 12 percent point lead, and with leadership based on two particular aspects. One is leadership and socio-cultural issues determining higher preference for the ruling party. Why do they prefer the ruling party? Why does the ruling party have 12 percentage point lead? For two reasons. One, leadership, a very strong leader. BJP has a very strong leader, the first reason. Second one, socio-cultural issues. These two must have given the advantage to the BJP party. The dichotomy. Dichotomy is a term that goes with botany. When you take a plant, usually it divides into two. Every time two. That is dichotomy. Dichotomous branch. Divide into two parts. And here it means something like positive and negative. Someone this side, someone the other side. The dichotomy in voter perceptions on key issues versus their possible choices provides comfort and concern to both the alliances and the other parties in the fray. There's a dichotomy. What is it? Voter perception is one thing on key issues. And what is the other thing? Possible choices. Choice may be in favor of BJP, but the concern may be related to unemployment and inflation. The dichotomy in voter perceptions on key issues versus their possible choices provides comfort and concern. One is comfort, the other one concern to both the alliances and the other parties in the fray. Alliances already we have got so many times. Two or three parties join hands. You can also use the word coalition and union also you can say. But in this context, we use words like alliances and coalition. While the BJP has engaged a present perfect active voice in bluster. We have got this word for the first time. Bluster means to speak in a loud, angry, or offended way, usually with little effect. You have to recollect two important words: bluster, to speak loudly, angrily, in an offending manner, but no impact, without any impact. With little effect means no impact. But here you have to think of two words: boast and brag, and one idiom: blow one's own trumpet. Bragging, boasting, blow one's own trumpet. What do they mean? Someone has something, that person always talks about the same thing and holds it in high esteem. We say he always brags about that thing. He always boasts about that thing. He blows his own trumpet. In a way, it is related, bluster also. But subtle difference. What is the difference? Here, talk loudly about a particular ideology, about a particular thing. Loudly, but no effect, no impact at all. What is it they are talking about? The BJP party right now, what does it say? While the BJP has engaged in bluster about winning nearly 400 of the 543 seats in parliament, the chief concerns related to the economy suggest that the party is not having it as easy as it did in 2019. The party wants to win 400 plus this time. That is part of the one of the goals the party has. But looking at the concerns related to economy, the editorial opines it is not going to be easy for the BJP party to win 400 plus seats in parliament. Suggests that the party is not having it as easy as it did in 2019. That means that's the reason why it starts with not done and dusted. It is not over. Competition is still on. Fierce competition. Based on that fierce competition, the BJP is not going to have it easy. It is going to be a tough fight. Despite the gap in vote shares as expressed in the survey. What is the gap? 12%. In spite of that, it is not going to be easy for the BJP party. Coming to the opposition, as for the opposition, harp on means to repeat, especially complain about something many times in an annoying way. Don't harp on something, means don't keep on complaining. As for the opposition, harping on an alternative agenda related to the economy and livelihood concerns could provide. If the opposition talks more about livelihood concerns and the economy, if they provide a solution, alternative agenda related to the economy and livelihood concerns, that could means possibility, chances are less. It with an opening to narrow down the gap in vote shares in the run up to the actual hustings. If the opposition focuses on, takes up a new stand related to economy and livelihood concerns, then the gap can be narrowed. The 12% gap can be narrowed with an opening to narrow down the gap in vote shares in the run up to the actual hustings. Run up we have got many a time. The time before a major event, a run up to the general election. To the actual hustings, even this we have got for the first time. The political activities and speeches that happen before an elections, the campaigning, canvassing. While the poll survey had not focused on state level dynamics, the poll survey did not touch the state level dynamics. While is a contrasting word. While the poll survey had not focused on, again, past perfect, had not focused on state level dynamics, recent assembly elections have shown present perfect active voice, a sharpening of the north-south political divide. Though it has not focused on the south, the recent assembly elections have shown something. What is that? The recent assembly elections have shown there's a divide between the south and the north, a sharpening of the north south political divide, with the BJP unable to sway the south on socio cultural issues as much as it is able to do so in the northern belt. There is a political divide when it comes to the south and the north, and the BJP unable to sway. Sway has two meanings. One meaning, when there's a strong wind, the branches of a tree move sideways or front and back. Then we use the word sway. But another meaning in this context, sway means to influence, control or influence a person or a group of people. It says the BJP could sway the North Indian belt, voters of the North Indian belt, based on socio-cultural issues. But it could not make a dent when it comes to the South India, unable to sway the South on socio-cultural issues as much as it is able to do so in the Hindi heartland. Heartland we have got many a time, the central or most important part of a country and other areas that close to half the respondents laid out livelihood issues as key concerns should provide an opportunity. These are the implications, findings of the survey. What are the implications that close to half the respondents laid out here? Laid out means to emphasize livelihood issues as key concerns should provide an opportunity for the political messaging across the country to be a contest of ideas because they are focusing on livelihood concerns. There's a message. What is it? The political parties should work on alternative agenda, and it should be a contest of ideas. Ideas in the sense how they're going to deal with unemployment, how they're going to deal with economy, how they're going to deal with livelihood concerns, all these things. It to be a contest of ideas about which political group offers the best deal in addressing these concerns. Based on that, the political group offers the best deal in addressing these concerns, in dealing with these concerns. Lastly, it is alarming that nearly 58% of the respondents had lost, again past perfect, some or a great amount of trust in the Election Commission of India. This is again very surprising. 58% of the respondents had lost some or a great amount of trust in what? In the Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India, they lost trust. That is a bit surprising. Based on that, the last sentence says, the institution, that means the Election Commission of India, must address concerns. What exactly, why have they lost their trust? What are the issues? It must deal with those concerns, must address, used to express a personal obligation or to convey the idea something is compulsory. The institution must address concerns about the voting process while asserting its independence in order to regain trust. 58% lost trust in the election commission. Based on that, what the election commission has to do? It must address concerns about voting process. We have seen already controversies regarding EVMs, all those things, voting process, while asserting, at the same time, we have got many a time. State a fact or belief confidently and forcefully. Be firm in your stand, asserting its independence in order to regain trust. It should not yield to the pressure from the center or the incumbent party. It has to assert its independence in order to, why? What is the purpose? In order to regain trust. Only then it can get back that trust. That's all about the editorial. And join at 7:30 to work on mini mocks. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. Thank you.